"That's not a real badge. Take it off." The words hit like a slap. Officer Greg Nelson stood with folded arms, glaring at the older black man in front of him, Elijah Hall, age 60, wearing a pressed military blazer and holding a framed photo of his daughter. The room was silent. This was the National Memorial Hall in Arlington, during a ceremony to honor fallen service members. Elijah had quietly stepped forward when his daughter's name, Captain Lyanna Hall, was called. A hush fell over the crowd. But before he could approach the stage, Greg blocked him. "No ID? No escort pass? No fancy uniform? That badge on your chest? Where'd you get that? eBay?" Then, without warning, Greg reached out and ripped the silver pin and ribbon from Elijah's chest, tearing through fabric and silence. All eyes turned, no one moved, and Elijah didn't speak. But what happened next shook even the highest-ranking officer in the room. Elijah stood frozen, his chest bare where the badge had been. His hand slowly closed around the torn threads near his heart. The pin Officer Nelson had yanked now lay cold and dented on the polished marble floor. A silver ribbon once worn by his daughter on deployment now crumpled beneath boot prints. Whispers spread like wildfire. He was just trying to honor his daughter. Isn't she the one who died saving her unit overseas? Greg scoffed. If every grieving father barged in wearing knockoff medals, this place would be a circus. Elijah's voice was low but clear. "She wore that ribbon for 3 tours. I wear it now because she can't." A woman near the back stiffened, a uniformed officer with silver hair and sharp eyes. Colonel Monica Hayes. Her gaze locked on the old man, and her expression changed. "Wait, Hall? Elijah Hall?" Her whisper stopped the air. What she did next would silence the room. Colonel Monica Hayes stepped forward, each heel click slicing through the tension like a metronome of authority. Every officer in the hall instinctively shifted to attention, but her eyes never left Elijah Hall. "I served with your daughter in Kandahar," she said. Her voice didn't tremble, but her fingers curled at her sides. "She once carried me through gunfire when I was hit. That woman saved my life." Officer Greg Nelson opened his mouth to protest, but Monica raised a single finger. He stopped mid-breath. Then, in front of everyone, she removed the rank insignia from her own shoulder, crossed the marble floor, and pressed it gently into Elijah's hand. "This belongs with you now." The room remained still, so still that you could hear the hum of the air vents. No one clapped. No one spoke. Greg stared at the ground, his badge suddenly heavier than ever. And Elijah finally exhaled. But he hadn't come for medals. He had come for something much deeper. Elijah stepped toward the podium, not to take the stage, but to kneel beside the wooden table where fallen soldiers' medals were displayed. From his coat, he pulled out the photo of his daughter, Captain Lyanna Hall, smiling in desert fatigues, arms around her medical unit. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't blame anyone. He simply said, "She didn't wear that ribbon to be honored. She wore it so others could live." Then he turned, not to the crowd, but to a small girl sitting near the back, Asian American, maybe 10, clutching a folded flag in her lap. Her father's name was never read aloud. He died weeks before his papers could be processed. Elijah walked to her, knelt, and placed his daughter's torn ribbon into her hands.
"She would have wanted you to have this." The child's eyes welled up, and across the hall, even the coldest shoulders turned warm. No applause followed, just stillness. Colonel Hayes stood at attention. One by one, other officers followed, not out of protocol, but out of respect. Officer Greg Nelson remained in the corner, face pale, eyes darting between his superior and the old man he had humiliated. No one spoke to him. Silence delivered the verdict. Elijah didn't linger. He walked toward the exit slowly, every step echoing through the high-ceilinged chamber. The torn fabric on his chest fluttered faintly as he passed beneath the American flag. At the door, he paused, his voice low, almost like a prayer. She didn't need a ceremony. She needed a country that remembers. Then he was gone. And for a moment, no one breathed, because something far greater than anger had filled the room, the weight of memory. Thanks for watching this video. Elijah Hall didn't fight for medals. He fought for dignity, for his daughter, and for those no longer here to speak for themselves. This racist story reminds us that silence can dishonor the fallen just as much as words. Sometimes, the most powerful stand is the one taken quietly. If this story moved you, share your thoughts below. What would you have done in that room? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real stories that matter.